Hello there fellas, today I'll be talking about useful tips for beginners that I wish I knew back when I started hypixel skyblock. I've also done a video of beginner's guide on how I thought you can progress fast as possible, so if you want to, you can also check that out. It's a little bit outdated, but most of the stuff there still works for beginners. So this is not a guide, this is a list of things that each little useful. But before we go in, I ask 2 seconds of your time and hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna let you guys decide my skin if I hit 30k by June, which there is still a long time till June, so I say it's reachable. Come on. Okay, here we go. First tip is after some time spent on the game, you can access the NPC Elizabeth in Mayor's office. She has these upgrades, profile upgrades and island upgrades. You can set one in motion from each. There are upgrades such as +1 minion slot, which I think is the most important one, so make sure to do that. If you are not an Iron Man, most of the items you're getting is not useful since you can access Bazaar and Auction House. So it's not really worth putting them in chests like I did back when I started the game. And now, as you can see, that my island is ruled by chaos of chests. Always have an aspect of the end. Teleportation is important. When you first start the game, there's a problem with crit chances. You can either have a high rarity armor such as an epic or legendary armor and put pure reforge on them to get highest crit chance from that, or you can use spider hat with pure or fierce, which gives about more than 30% crit chance. Tactician's sword is also very good for a beginner sword. It gives +20 crit chance. Not that strong without its upgrades and all, but it's useful. From basic reforges for the sword, sharp is better if you want more crit chance, but spicy is so much better if you already have high crit chance. Always use a pet. Have a pet for every situation. Mining, farming, dungeons, tanking. Doesn't have to be legendary, just have pets. Deep caverns is the best way to get experience levels in early game. Use lapis armor if you have, and the amount of XP you'll get from killing those mobs will be so high. Don't forget to use enchants on your sword such as scavenger, luck, looting, and experience. Experience is the enchant that gives more experience levels, by the way. But those other enchants are so useful when you're grinding mobs. Speaking of enchants, you should max your sword out every time you get a new sword. It's worth it. Get an enchantment table and a lot of bookshelves. Don't forget to do your daily enchanting experiments. Oh, and remember, Siphon is 2 times better than Lifesteal, but only works whenever you crit. But that's the goal of the game. You never want to not crit. So, always use Siphon. In Turkish, we call it sifon, but yeah, whatever. And in early game, you usually try to one-shot things. So you should use prosecute enchant instead of execute, and use first strike instead of triple strike. Prosecute is way better if you want to one-shot things. Also first strike too, but you probably already knew that. But prosecute? Not everyone knows about that enchantment. Get every talisman you can find. Always have a redstone minion so you can upgrade your talisman bag and reforge them depending on what you want. But in early game you probably want to get them to forceful, hurtful, itchy. Any one of those will be fine if you want to max damage. Keep track of who is becoming the new mayor and participate in new events. Those events are useful for making money and getting stronger in the game, especially in early game. Also, you could find new items, pets, or sets that can improve your situation in the game with those mayors and events. Max out your minions. Seriously, get more minions. Grind for minions. Do it. It's worth it. Zealot is the best way to make money early to mid game. Maybe even late game. Things are so complicated with money making methods right now. Any kind of dungeon set is mostly better than what you can get in Overworld for crap ton amount of price or resource. Snow minion is the best money making minion and cheapest one. I mean, between Tarantula and Snow, those are the two best. You know, I'm just gonna shut up. Participate in Jacob's events whenever you press tab and see there's one. Build farms. It's worth it. It's worth than doing nothing. So, start farming now. Hot potato books are more powerful than they look and cheaper than you think, especially in dungeons. Because in dungeons, your stats multiply like so much. So that 4 HP, 2 strength that hot potato book gives is becoming so much useful. I'm saying this because one of my co-ops used to not have hot potato books on their armor and was trying to survive floor 6. And I was like, bruh, like...
Bruh.
Yeah, you get my point. God potions are useful and obtained with so little money. And if you make enough money, it's totally worth having a booster cookie. Always have a booster cookie. And last of them is, don't forget that this is just a game and you'll get where you want to be eventually. Have fun playing it. Don't lose yourself in the process. I'll see you next video.